Hey there neighbors, Kevin here with eTrailer, and today we're going to be taking a look at the CURT Gooseneck Ball and Safety Chain Loop Kit for OEM puck systems here in our 2023 Ford F-250. If you have an OEM puck system in the bed of your F-250 and you're looking for a gooseneck option and safety chain loop kit for your puck system, then look no further. CURT's got a bunch of different options for you depending on what specific needs you have. This specific kit today is going to come with the drop-in gooseneck ball, which you can see right here, along with two safety chain loops, which can pop right in. It's got a couple of pieces we'd have to take out first. And then it's also going to come with a carrying case, so that way when it's time to take the gooseneck ball out and use your bed as a truck bed and fill it up with different things, you have a nice clean place for that ball to live. That way it's not tracking grease all on the inside of your cab or rolling around in the bed here. So when we're going to set up our truck so that we can tow our gooseneck trailer, all we'll have to do with our ball is pop it out of our carrying case. It'll drop right in, and you'll want to have the latch here on the top flipped up and then turned so it's sideways to where you can't fold it back down through that opening, and that's putting us in the released position so that way the ball can sink inside of the shank here so that we can drop it into place. Now once it's ready, that's when we will turn that latch. That's locking it, so now this doesn't want to come out, and we can flip that down so that way our coupler from our gooseneck trailer can fit right over. Now for the safety chain loops, sometimes you'll have an issue with this just because of the trim that they usually use around the puck, but if you sit there and you can kind of press down on it, this one's going to drop in and then just twist, which I'm doing it backwards. There we go. So now we're locked into place. We have that puck running side to side. We're going to drop in our pin and then run our little clip through there. And that's going to lock this into place so that we can't take it out. You can see now I can't turn it enough to remove it, but there is still a little bit of play there to where you can kind of turn it and angle it so that it's best reaching those safety chains. And while we're on that topic, I've got a nice large clevis here, and we can show you just exactly what I'm talking about. Now the clevis I have is designed more for trailer hitch use, so your bumper pull. So this one is a little bit narrower. You can kind of see the clip on it isn't going through totally, so it's not the best example, but this is the style clevis that you typically be using with a gooseneck trailer. Obviously a much larger version though. But you can see that slips right on just like so. Side. Now in terms of the capacity, this one is going to have it already labeled on it, so you don't ever have to remember it. If you forgot, you can go back and look right at the ball itself. Since this is going to fit a variety of different OEM puck systems, so from brand to brand, whether that's this Ford, Chevy, GM, or Ram, this is going to be able to fit a bunch of different puck systems. So you want to make sure that this is actually going to live long enough, that way you can transfer it from truck to truck to truck as you continue on throughout your life. So biggest thing is going to be maintenance with the ball, and the best way to do that is to make sure that you're properly greasing up the ball itself, making sure that you aren't overdoing it to where you're getting it all kind of stuck in the latch area. That way you don't kind of corrode that out or have that all gunked up. And then also making sure that you kind of grease around the shank as well. That way it can slip in and out. If you don't have a tonneau cover protecting your gooseneck hitch or puck system from the rain, then there's a good chance water is going to get in there and eventually corrode it. So adding some white lithium grease in there so that it's not going to pick up any of the dirt or debris that is eventually going to end up in your bed as well is going to make sure that your hitch is going to last a whole lot longer. That way, like I said, you can transfer it from truck to truck to truck and not have to worry about it. Now one issue I have seen quite a bit on the troubleshooting side back when I was on the expert team is when we set down our gooseneck coupler onto our ball, we've had people hit that latch and end up damaging it. And then now the ball is stuck in their coupler. They can't remove it. Unfortunately, then you're going to be tearing this out. It's going to be a much harder removal without that latch functioning correctly. So that is one thing where I don't typically recommend this specific kit, just because B&W has a great option with a latch that sits off to the side and you can easily just pop it down, pop it back up when it's time to pull the ball out, and you're good to go, and you don't ever have to worry about that. So that is one thing that I would say would steer me more towards B&W over this specific kit, just because the ease of that latch and then just the potential of not damaging it so that the ball can always come in and out without a problem. Another issue that people can run into is just with turning clearance. So this isn't an 8-foot bed, so with a traditional gooseneck trailer, you're probably not going to have an issue just because the nose of that trailer is typically very tapered, and that gives you a lot more turning clearance. But if you have a fifth wheel trailer, and you have that fifth wheel to gooseneck pin box, that's where you could start running into some problems. So when we go to make that 90-degree turn, that nose of that trailer could potentially come into contact with the cab of our truck and damage both the truck and the trailer. So that's where you might need to start looking into some offset options. CURT also has a couple of options for that are all multi-fit as well, and Gen Y also has an option to go along with that, and that's going to give you a 5-inch offset. The CURT ones will give you the 4-inch offset, so that's where I'd start looking at the bed length, and then I'd go over and measure exactly what kind of angle I can get with my pin box to the furthest point out on my trailer to just really kind of fine tune and know exactly what kind of angle I have when it comes to actually checking it out with the truck to make sure that we're not coming into contact. Now, if you're ordering this kit, this isn't something where you're going to need somebody else to help install it for you. This is something you pop it right out of the box, you drop it right in the hole, latch it into place, and you're all good to go. So you can have your towing setup done in just under a minute and be out there and towing your trailer. Now, with that being said, maybe you just stumbled on this video and you're starting to look at some gooseneck options, but you don't know exactly what you have. That's a good point where you should come back to your bed and check out exactly what kind of setup you have going. If you don't see the 2 holes on both sides plus that center one, so 5 holes in total, then you probably don't have a puck system, and we would need to take a better look at it and figure out exactly which style hitch you have, because a lot of the gooseneck hitches, especially if it's aftermarket, aren't going to be compatible with every single option that's out there. A lot of it becomes very brand specific. So that's a case where you might want to reach out to us. If any questions that you might find, send us pictures, any kind of info you can see on it. Typically, if you get down in the wheel well, you'll see some kind of mounting brackets, and usually there'll be some sort of label there, at least telling you the brand, if not also towing capacities and stuff, so that way you can make sure that you're towing safely. So any kind of information you can find, just send it our way, and we'd be happy to help you figure out exactly what you have in your bed to make sure you're getting the right product. That's going to do it for our look at the CURT Gooseneck Ball and Safety Chain Loop Kit for OEM puck systems here in our 2023 Ford F-250.